Yeah, the initial start wasn't that amazing, but then turn 2 luckily worked out quite well for me. So I was, of course, happy to be in the lead, but I was still not entirely sure how quick we were going to be because, of course, I was also in the lead in Miami, but we did not have a great pace there. So I just tried to follow a bit my rhythm. I do think the car felt a bit nicer, a bit more controlled to drive now also in the long run. And that helped me, I think, also to look after the tires probably a bit more than normal. So, yeah, overall, quite surprising. But, of course, very happy with what we showed today. Just hope that we can, show this kind of performance a bit more often. I think it's a bit like I started to carry a bit more speed to the apex, and then at one point you have that kind of like a momentum swing then going into turn 3, and then of course I knew that I was ahead, but it all goes so fast and you have to be really precise, to try not go too far offline. But yeah, luckily the grip was all right there. It's bumpy, so yeah, my back is pretty hurting. Nah, not a lot. I mean, they were getting quite destroyed. It was already quite hard to be consistent in those last few laps, so it wouldn't have been long before I think I was in. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean that's why we just kept on going. I think Lando and I would have done a one stop. Yeah.
Oh, as well.
I do think again, this track has quite a few high speed corners, which I think our car likes. I also think we took a step forward with the setup of the car, which helps. Monaco is, of course, very, very different. So let's see how we are going to perform there. Last year was very difficult for us. I don't expect it to be a lot easier this time round because there's, of course, a lot of low speed, but we'll see. I mean, it's just one race on the calendar, where you try to do the best you can. Even after that, there's a lot of races left. But, of course, you can clearly see that once we go to higher speed tracks and corners, then we are more competitive.
I mean, it's probably the best result I thought we could really achieve today. Probably just didn't expect the Red Bull to be quite as quick as they were. So I'm happy with second. Yeah, from fourth was a good race. But yeah, Max was too fast today, so was a fun one. Yeah, it didn't really.
You mentioned it like that.
Yeah, not the McLaren. I don't know. It didn't really feel great anywhere, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't feel wonderful to drive, but sometimes it doesn't, and you're just quick, so it's a little bit difficult to say. It's just very, very bumpy track, a lot of these high speed corners, where we seem to maybe struggle a little bit comparing to the Red Bulls. That's where we suffered the whole season so far, is the high speed corners, so we have to work in that area, and maybe that's proved to hurt us a little bit more this weekend. But we said it from the beginning that we have to keep working hard. Max has outqualified us several times, and their pace just converted today onto Sunday. Sometimes they've been ahead, but their pace on Sunday has not been too strong. They've maybe worked on some things, and their pace was better today, and that's the price we pay for not being quick enough. I've not even thought of it yet, to be honest. So yeah, normal amount, whatever that is. No. Yep. No, there was nothing. Yeah, I mean, it was a good battle between us. I mean, I was just on the fresher tire, so I was always going to have that slight advantage on him. And yeah, just with the DRS, with the I managed to just have a good last couple of corners, and I knew that was going to be probably not my one chance, but you saw once I passed him how easy it was to pull away. So it was clear he was just struggling with the tires, which I think everyone did quite a lot of today, was struggle with the tires. So it was a close one. I don't know how close we got into turn 1, but yeah, we're both racing. We both want to beat one another, and it was good that we could race closely like that today. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how close we got. So.
I think obviously
slight disappointment, probably. It's never a great day when you start first and finish third. So, yeah, just not a great day. I think, turn one was not ideal. I think in the end, our stop timing wasn't. I think the race just panned out differently to how we expected at the start of in that first stint. So then the timing of the VSC and the safety car, it was kind of, the race was very tough from very early on. So I think honestly, given people had fresher tyres at the end, hanging on to a podium is not a bad result. And you're going to have tough days in the championship, and this is clearly one of them. So as long as we learn the lessons, then that's all I can ask. Yeah. I mean, I thought I had it pretty under control, and it was a good move from Max. So I'll learn for next time, clearly. But I think at that point, I think at that point I wasn't overly concerned to not be in the lead, but then our pace just wasn't as strong as I expected. So that compounded that first corner. Not clear, but I think a lot of people around were struggling. I was starting to struggle a bit. We kind of discussed it a bit, I guess, but it's something we still need to go through more clearly, because I think maybe we reacted a bit too quickly. But we'll have a look. It's a circuit I enjoy. Last year was a really good weekend for me, so hopefully we can go one better this year. That would be nice, but it's going to be interesting to see it's the same tyres as this weekend, but how they perform in a very different environment like Monaco, and then obviously a two-stop race. So let's see, but I think I'm confident they will be quick, and try and go again. Yes, I definitely would have done something different. I would have braked about 10 meters later, probably. That's all. Live and learn.
I think it's very track specific. I mean, every time that we have been really competitive, it's been higher speed tracks, higher speed corners. We still have work to do, but I do think it's been a very positive weekend for us. Of course, we brought upgrades. I think they worked. Then Friday was very difficult still, but then I think we did find a better setup for Saturday, and I just hope that we can use that a bit more often, because it definitely brought the car in a better window. Now, that was here. Monaco again, like I said, at the moment I'm not really, I mean, I love driving in Monaco, but it's not been our strongest track with the car that we have, but we'll see what we can do. And then we go to Barcelona. Normally, a lot of high-speed corners, which is great. A lot of tire deck as well, which again will be crucial to master. And I don't know, of course, how that is going to work for us at the moment, but for now, just very happy with this weekend, and we just go from there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love driving here, but at the end of the day, you're still bound to what you get, right, with your car. Now, I think the last few years, our car's always been working really well here. Of course, before I got here this weekend, I didn't really have a lot of hope that we could actually win a race here. But then I think from yesterday onwards, the car was more competitive over one lap, and luckily also today. So, I definitely enjoy driving here, but at the same time, the car has to work as well, to be able to do this. Losing these kind of tracks is a shame. I get it from F1 side of things, of course, the new tracks that we are going to. So you have to see it from a sportive side and a financial side, right? If you want to grow the business and make it more popular, I get it. For me, of course, personally, when I just speak about the enjoyment of driving, it's these kind of tracks that made me fall in love with racing in general, from in go-karting even, because you have the same thing in go-karting, where some tracks are more special than others. And then, of course, when you started watching Formula One, there were always these few tracks where you just, I don't know, you look at the speeds, you look at how difficult they are to master, the history of the sport at certain tracks. It's all very special and gives you a bit more emotion to things. So, it's definitely a shame for me personally. But what can I do about it? I mean, I was quite far back. I mean, at the time before break, I was basically in P3. But of course, I was on the normal braking line, but I still had to come from far. And as soon as I braked late and then came off the brakes, I felt like, okay, there might be a move on. So I just carried the speed in, and luckily it's basically was sticking. It's not an easy move to make, but luckily everything went well.